Now, dairy and horticultural industry leaders are relieved following changes by the government to rules for migrant labour. Farmers Weekly reporter Gerald Pickard focuses on this week's newspaper and the decision that Immigration Minister Ian Lees-Galloway announced a 6-month extension for migrant worker visas. I know it was much welcomed by Dairy NZ and the 3,000 workers that affected. There's also a reduction in the stand-down period from 12 to 6 months for these lower skilled workers who are due to leave this year. But is that going to make a difference? There's talk about crops rotting in the fields and stretched workforce working unhealthy and unsafe hours because of these border closures. Now, joining us to discuss is Agri Training's Matt Jones. Good evening, Matt.
Hi, Sarah. How's things?
Yeah, good. Hey, Matt, can you provide us with a bit of a picture of what you're dealing with in your role in vocational training in the sector day in, day out?
Yeah, look, we're certainly seeing people are resetting their dial and are looking at the primary sector for a future. And I think there's even, if you talk to real estate agents, there's been quite a shift in townies wanting to move to the country and become a bit self-sustainable, and we're certainly seeing that in the job market as well.
Yeah, hopefully they'll learn that courgettes don't grow in July. That would be quite a good. Now, there's our aspirations in our government high enough. I mean, we had the Fit for a Better World aspirations of 10,000 jobs in the next decade. Nathan Guy seemed to think 5 years ago we needed 50,000. I'm getting a bit confused on the numbers. How bad is it in terms of what we need in the sector?
Well, look, I honestly think we need a hell of a lot more, and I don't think 10,000 is the right number. We need to become more intensive. We're a boutique. We need to sell a specialised product around the world and not be a commodity producer. And to do that, we need more labour. We need more skilled labour from labour on the farm, right through the whole primary sector. There needs to be a big uplift in training and bringing people up to speed.
Interesting you say that about that boutiqueness and that, you see in the wine industry here in New Zealand, because it's hand-picked, it actually commands a premium over harvested. And if we're going to be moving more and more into that, I'd like to know, are we training for jobs of the future?
No, yes. Are we training for jobs of the future? What is the future? Yeah, we are, because a lot of it is just hands and, work, graft, hard work. Yes, we need tech people. We need to lift middle management. We need to lift their knowledge base. But we do need from the hands, from just grassroots working. So I think we are training right, but we've got to keep looking at what we're training and how we're training, because the people we're training, the younger generation in particular, they certainly have a different approach on how they take in that training that we deliver.
How much has the visa restrictions affected and had a flow-on effect, and has these recent changes made a difference? Yeah, they have, and they'll certainly help people that are in genuine skill shortage areas, and the comfort factor that they have got another 6 months. The unfortunate thing is Immigration New Zealand are sort of sitting on their hands and making no decisions, which is not a good thing. Then we've got an election, so there'll be still no decisions. And there's a lot of people offshore that have the right to work in New Zealand, but can't get back here and can't get back to their job. And there's certainly quite a number of cases, and you've done some stuff on that as well, about those sort of people. How much is the $1.6 billion going into free apprenticeships and vocational training going to benefit your business and the capability of speeding up what we need?
Potentially, it's probably not going to benefit our business at all, because we don't deliver NZQA. We deliver an Australasian qualification here in New Zealand. So we are a private funding and funded by employers and employees. But it is a case of you pay for what you get, and we're certainly delivering a really high-end education model. But we are
we are working with MPI on some funding on some rural retrain, and we had a really successful classroom session a couple of weeks ago.
So what more do you believe needs done in the short term to ensure that we don't have a too affected, especially rural contractors and through to, of course, horticulture and viticulture?
We need to talk to schools more. We need to get more engagement in the primary sector, and we need to keep championing the primary sector as the sector of the future. And it's not the dirty farming. It's the growth. It's New Zealand's backbone, and we need all ages in it and getting involved in it.
Mm. Thank you so much for joining us, Matt Jones there from Agri Training. Hey, Matt, before you go, off the top of your head, I know you're from mid-Canterbury and you've been obviously surrounded by a lot of sheep farmers in your time and seen the demise of the strong wool industry. What's the one thing you've done recently to purchase that's wool that to support the industry?
I purchased a woolen jersey just recently, and I wear it every weekend on the farm, and that's fantastic.
Oh, and so therefore you'll be able to back me up when saying to Joel that wool doesn't smell like wearing synthetics.
That's right. No, absolutely. It smells when it comes off the sheep, but it certainly turns around and it's all good once it's been washed and on a jersey.
Oh, awesome. Thank you so much. That's Matt Jones from Agri Training, of course, off the back of Gerald Pickard's article there with regards to seasonal workers' decisions welcome by Immigration Minister Ian Lees-Galloway.
This is Sarah's Country.